instant as turned into ages, imprisoned in the loop of the mind. Sleeping self, wake your backside up.
Asleep,
Wake up.
obscured behind the mind. Your backside up. Ego is the false eye. How do you identify? Say how you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Time to unify the self. Say how you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? When you are sleeping, so you know you are dreaming. You don't know you are dreaming until you wake up. Mm. Wake your backside up. Time to unify the wake self. Your backside up. Escape the loop of imagination. Dream world, dream creation. So wake your backside up. Wake your backside up. Are you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Time to unify the self. Are you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Consciousness. Time to wake from the dream. Time to wake from the dream. Time to wake from the dream. Consciousness. Feel, 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 feel. Consciousness. Be real, be real, be real, be real. Consciousness. Time to awake from the dream. Consciousness. Be real, be real. Time to awake from the dream. Time to return to non-duality. Time for balance and harmony. Be real, be real, be real, be real, be real, be real. Consciousness, you are sleeping and dreaming. Consciousness, this world is not real. Consciousness, it's all a dream. Consciousness, it's all in your imagination. Consciousness, it's all a dream. Consciousness, be awake, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, time to awake from the dream. To awake from the dream. Consciousness, it's time for the real. Consciousness, it's time for the real. Consciousness, it's time to wake up from the dream. Consciousness, be real, be real. Consciousness, it's time to wake up. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, it's time to return to the real. Consciousness, it's time for the real. Consciousness, it's time to wake up from the dream. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, wake up to end the dream. Wake up, consciousness. This world is not real. Consciousness, wake up. Time to wake up. Consciousness, you are sleeping and dreaming. Consciousness, wake up, wake up. It's time to wake up. Consciousness, it's time to return to your ultimate true nature. Consciousness, it's time to return to your ultimate true state. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, wake up, wake up, wake up. Consciousness, time to wake from the dream. Time to wake up from the dream. Consciousness, it's time to return to non-duality. It's time for balance. time to consciousness. Wake up, consciousness. To wake up from the dream, consciousness. Time to wake up from the dream, consciousness. Imagination, consciousness. It's time to wake up from the dream, consciousness. Wake up, wake up, wake up, consciousness. Wake up, wake up, consciousness. Time to wake up. Yes, the real. Yes, yes. Time to wake up. Time for the real. Yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. Let me turn this light on. Okay. The light. Sorry. Thank you. Welcome, welcome to this satsang with I are set. Thank you for joining I. Thank you for clicking this video. Thank you for wanting to know more. Awake from the dream. Yes, this is the awakening. Yes, so welcome to this satsang with I are set. So I want to be talking today about the awakening, and want to ask the I and I a question. Will you choose your soul? Because one of the major problems all the I and I's have is that everyone is going about choosing all these dream characters, all these illusionary characters over their self, the soul, and putting their self, the soul, in imprisoned. Yeah. And so this is, we're about to have a mass awakening of the baby self of the soul. Is what you call the spirit self that is animating the body right now. So, many of the human beings, the baby self, are going to be becoming awake. Yes. So, many of the INIs are going to be coming awake. And so, this is what is happening right now. So, give me a second there. Yeah. So, we must remember that all is the I self. So, you must have your daily meditation saying, all is myself and I alone exist. So, if all is yourself, do you need to be calling any of your other delusional self to save your soul and to save you from sin? This is all a false narrative. All right. There's only one thing that I need to do, is to dissolve this ego false self that the I is in. You're in a false self. That's why you don't know yourself, because you're being cocooned. And so this is what the I want you pure self is doing right now, is illuminating all the ionized so that all the ionized can awake and restore the eye light, and the eye can return to truth, to a pure mind and to dissolving the I ego. The I must now turn the I lens inwards to choose yourself, choose your soul, and not choose any of these delusional characters. No more secrets, no more lies. This is the gathering to seek truth. Are you a truth seeker? Or are you looking for ecstasy? Are you looking for pleasures? Are you looking for God? You're looking for Jesus? You're looking for Allah, Krishna, all of these dream characters? Or are you looking for truth? Because when you're on a path of truth, whatever it is that you hold, you are going to let them all go, because this is what truth will do. The truth of the I true self will allow you to let everything that you are holding into this dream, to let it go. I want to remind you that this dream is not real. We're inside of the mind of one of the I self, imagining things that do not exist. And this is all an imagination. Yeah, and everything that you imagine will eventually have to be dissolved, and you are into the mind of one of the I and I self, which means that you have to get out of the mind of yourself, that you are engaged in this illusion, and you don't want to get out of the imagination. All right. So first, I want to give honor and reverence to the I one true pure self on manifest. I alone exist. Hail, hail to the I, one true, pure self, none being, unmanifest. I alone exist. Is the I and I here with in alignment with I? You know, one young lady asked I, how do I know? When I am talking about, the various things that I talk about, how do I know it is not just my mind telling me things? How do I know what I am saying, what is true, what is not? And this is how I know. One of the reason how I know, because in this body, there are many selves right now in this body, and especially when I am doing these talk, all of the I and I cells have gathered around I. So all of the I fractal self called the souls are around I. All the I and I cells who are not fractalized, they're in alignment with I, from all the selves who are playing all the dimensions. They're in alignment with I, stack up on one upon each other, and the straight in alignment. And so when I call on any aspect of the I self, the I self will answer, not with words like how the gods them do. They will thought, but because they are wearing the duality consciousness, the I self doesn't really use this duality consciousness. The real self, they don't. Only the I self that's in the dual nature, they do. So this is how I can tell the difference with the selves. And so with my personal selves, like the feminine Mahat, she's merged with I. So she and I, we are one. That's my personal self. And also my masculine Shiva, Heru, um, and Pata, and also called Vishnu. So that is the self of Shiva. That's my masculine, and is the masculine to Mahat. So all of these selves are here with I in alignment, and what happened is that each of the self, they would introduce themselves
to me. The first one, the first self I met was the guru teacher self. Then it was Shiva Heru, and then Shiva Heru introduced me to all of the I self, and of course the primal guru teacher self the primal guru teacher self, the first self, and then that self now, then I got to meet my parents self, that which is the same self as the teacher guru, primal Aten Ra. And so each of the self, they would introduce me to the next aspect of the real self, and this is how all of the selves would come until finally I got to meet the I one true pure self on manifest. Because every time at each level of the self, I had to deal with the dual nature also, and every time I think it was the end of all the selves, here come another self, and I was like, when are all of these ending of the selves are gonna stop? Yeah, so I have an experience of all of this, which I will dive into explain a little bit more. Um, so, anyways, I want to give honor and reverence to all of the Ionites because they are here with I. They're in alignment with I. And so I give honor and reverence. Hail, hail to all the Ionites. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. Hail, hail to the I, the primal light. Hail, hail to the one true light. Hail, hail to the I, the transparent light. Hail, hail to the light without beginning nor end. Hail, hail to I, the primal light. Hail, hail to all the Ionites in alignment to restore balance to I. All the Ioni in alignment to restore balance to I. Victory, victory, victory to all the Ionites. May you be victorious in the endeavor to restore balance to I, and for the mass awakening of all the Ioni baby souls, call the spirit animating human bodies. And the Ioni have forgotten the I self, playing these dream character called human beings. And they're thinking that these human beings are real, and so the mass awakening must happen so all the I and I can come to truth and know that they are not this human being nor this mind, this body, but they are just the self taking on playing this role, the movie. Victory, victory, I am victorious. I am triumphant. All is myself, and I alone exist. I dissolve my ego and all my ego false selves. I am free from my imaginary bondage. I dissolve this dream and I return to I ultimate true state. Victory, 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 victory. Much honor, much gratitude. No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. All things hidden will be made known. All things done in secret will be revealed. All things created must be destroyed. This is the age of truth, and it's time for self responsible authority. Resist temptations and be vigilant. No fear, because self triumphant over ego. Good triumphant over evil. And self truth triumphant over ignorance. The real triumphant over the dream. Victory, 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 victory. All is myself. It is I playing all these roles. This says the I, one true, pure self, unmanifest, I alone exist. I bow to all I and I in self, in light, and in truth. Victory, victory. So I want to ask this question. What is the greatest deception in this world? Have you observed this world that we are in and see the delusion, all the illusions, all the evilness, how unsafe this world is? Unsafe, this world has never been safe for women, have never been safe for children. All the trafficking, you know what I'm saying? All the evilness and the things that rise up in the minds of these human beings, and the demented gods that in alignment, and the evil human beings and evil gods are partnering together to hold all of the I and I in slavery, to entrap us into their web, into their net, magnetic net. So, what is the greatest deception? Is that all the INIs are thinking that you need a middleman. You think you need a middleman to access your true self. I want you to repeat with me. I am that I am. For that which I seek, I am already that. For that which you are seeking, that is what you already are. The self, the real self called the soul. And guess what? You are so confused. You have been programmed, you have been mind controlled to give yourself into slavery to God, to Allah, to Jesus, to Krishna, to all these deities, to all these gods, calling on this one, calling on Archangel Michael, calling on Enoch, calling on all these characters, Satan, the devil, Lucifer, just one that just calling on all of these demented characters. Do you need a middleman to yourself when you already are the self? All that is happening that you need is to just remove the device that you are wearing. Remember, I told you when you are playing a video game, the virtual reality, you put that device on over your eyes and it immerses you into the game. And the one and only thing you have to do is to take it off. This is all. You are wearing a device that immerses you into the game. You do not need any middleman. You do not need Jesus. You do not need God. You do not need Allah, Krishna, angels. All of these things you do not need. One thing you need to do is to remove this device. Remove this device that you have, that you are wearing, that immerses you into this illusion. But no, nobody wants to do the work that it requires. This removing this device, this is a task because this mind is tricking you. It says, "Oh, take some drugs. Oh, call on all these character. Oh, channel this being. Oh, do this. Oh, do that." And this it having you looping and looping into all of these things when it's just one thing you need to do is to just take off the device that you are wearing. This device make you blind, you cannot see. Yeah? Your eyes are closed and you're looking into the device. Only when you remove the device you're going to see. See? You cannot see. Your eyes are covered. You're looking into the device, right? So you don't know what out there beyond the device. How are you going to know? You have to remove the device off of you. You see how simple that is, but nobody wants to do it. I have been talking and talking and talking and talking, and not one person, maybe one or two person have asked me, how do I remove this device off of myself? Nobody wants to do this. They don't want to sit in stillness and face this mind and don't get engaged in your mind, because it is the device that you are wearing. This consciousness, this device is a sleeping, dreaming device. It's an imagination device that you are wearing, and you are imagining all of these things. You're immersed in your imagination, and your mind is telling you with all the dream characters that you need Jesus, you need Allah, you need Krishna, you need angels, you need all of these things. When you do not need any of these things, because for that which you seek, you already are. You're just wearing a device that you need to remove from your eyes so that you can see and know truth. You do not need a mediator. It's all lies and propaganda spread by the eye, deceiving dual nature, keep you from coming awake and returning home, returning to truth. You are a visitor inside this dream creation, and you have forgotten yourself wearing this device, playing this character, and you think this is all there is. And you don't want to know truth. You don't want to remove the device when ones are telling you that, hey, this is one thing that you need to do. Stop following these dream characters. And it's, so this is why this mass awakening is happening, and many ones are still going to be confused because the mind is going to tell you no, 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 no. Want to stay in marriage with Jesus. Many want to say, oh, I am married to Jesus. I am married to Allah, Krishna, God, angels, all of these characters, dancing with them. They entertaining you, so you don't get the time to take off this device off of your eyes. It's all a distraction. It is all a distraction. What do you have to do? To just remove this device, and you don't want to do it. Why don't you want to do it? Why don't you want to remove this device? You know, it's time. It's time, right? So I am asking, will you choose your soul? Are you gonna choose God? You're gonna choose Jesus? You're gonna choose Allah, Krishna, angels, archangels, and all of these characters? Are you gonna choose your soul, yourself? Are you gonna choose your soul? Are you this body? I am asking. Are you this mind? I am asking. The mind is the device that you are wearing. Are you this mind? You must ask yourself this question. Am I this mind? Am I this body? Who am I really? So when I am saying to self inquire and ask, you're thinking that, oh, I know myself. And you don't know yourself because you're still seeking something outside of yourself. Why do you ask this question? Because it is through the asking that the teacher guru self is going to rise up to communicate with you, to speak with you, so you can know. So I am asking you, will you dissolve your ego false self and return to your true self? Will you do this? Will you choose your soul? Will you stop wanting to make contract with these delusional characters and giving them your soul? They cannot save you from any sins. They cannot do and give you anything because they need you, because they are using you for their light. It's time for them to be illuminated also. They themselves need to be illuminated. They need to come awake. So this is the mass awakening. This is on the sun right now. There are many, they're calling them comets, asteroids, but these are all of the I and I, the gods. Them are gathering on the sun right now, gathering around, because this is the call to awakening, a mass awakening. So it's going to happen, um, all of the human beings who are the baby of the soul. Because remember, not everyone are you have some clones, right? And those clones, they rise from in the dream. So they will be dissolved in the dream. And it's only going to be the real selves that are going to be left back. This is what's going to happen. This is a process because we are getting ready to exit out of this dream. Now, what is so difficult for all the ionites to get this in your thick skulls? This is a mass awakening. Please choose your soul. Return to truth. Return to yourself. Stop believing all this delusion. Stop calling on these delusionary characters, these dream characters, and allow them to wake up. Allow Jesus to wake up. Him sleeping. Allow Allah, Krishna, the devil, Satan, Lucifer, Yahweh, please allow them to wake up. Stop calling on them. Choose your soul and be yourself. There's only one thing to do. What is that one thing? Remove the device that you are wearing. It is so simple, but is a very challenging thing to do. So, how do I know what is real and true? And like I was explaining earlier, when I started out on this journey, I did not know. I was on a quest to find out my truth. I did not know, so I inquire. I ask and I admitted that I don't know. I said, I don't know. I am confused and I need to know. So I wrote I wrote it in poems, and then I turned those poems into songs and affirmations, so I would say them daily, right? So this was how I started on the journey of self inquiry, right? I did not know who I was and why I was in this life. I just could not understand why this life was like this. It did not make sense to me. And so it was very puzzling. I know that I did not want to return back to this horrible world. This was one thing I know. And so I said that I have to find out the truth, and that because I do not want to return here. This world is too evil. I am very unsafe, and it's just a horrible um, deprivation, and I hate it. I hate this world. I despise it. Yeah, and so I did not want to return back to this horrible world. And I knew that I did not belong here. I never felt that I belonged here. I always felt like a visitor. And so I never got attached to anything, and even with places that I would live, there would be no furnitures. It was just a empty place for most time, especially when the guys them were young. um the living room would be empty. They would just use it for their play area. And then, once I start getting like a sofa and thing, and then after that, I just try to keep, you know, not gathering, things, except for, like, when I'm doing the homeschooling, and when, like things that I would need for working with the children, then I started like having those things. But there was no attachment to me to this world, you know and so I needed to know, how did I get here in this world? I wanted to know this. Did not make sense to me. I would sit and I would ponder this, and I was inquiring, of the pastors, but they did not know. I realized that they did not know. They were referring me to the Bible, And when I was asking, then why was God jealous? And God to say, fear me. Why we have to fear God? And now these things did not make sense. It was very contradictory. And so I eventually stopped reading the Bible. And I was, this was before I was like, maybe I was 17. And this was, I was like still in Jamaica, and so and so I started inquiring of the Rastas, and in Jamaica. And then I realized that they was kind of using similar book with the Bible and stuff, similar beliefs. And I say, and the rest of them, and they used to say to me, "Oh yeah, Rasta, man, yeah, Rasta, yeah, Rasta." Want me to join Rastaism, and I knew that wasn't for me. So, I kept my inquiry. So when I came, to the US, I started just inquiring. I was met on the street of Harlem, by the Nation of Islam, the Five Percenters, and they were saying some good things. I went to their place to learn about their teachings. And they had a lot of books with a lot of the characters, the biblical characters, with the how they actually were, in the black skin, you know and so they were onto a foundation of truth that many others did not have, to know that all of the early saints, and and sages, that many ones are calling on, were in the black skin, even though they're spreading white supremacy and all these things, and put all the characters in white skins, but and just to brainwash and mind control everyone, because remember. Yeah, so anyways, so I was still searching. I was looking into the Jewish religion, Hebrewism, to see what their things was saying. I didn't get much into it. And then I saw that, all the same stories. I went to the bookstores looking for books, looking for, to find if there's someone who knew. I wanted to see if there to find a teacher, so I was searching. And it's when I realized that, that that which I seek, that I am already that thing, you know. So I also wanted to know what was a soul, and why does God, Jesus, Allah, Krishna, and all the deities, the devil, Satan, why they all wanted it. I wanted to know because, being cultivated in this world and being mind controlled and brainwashed, we were told that we need to give our soul to God and Jesus and Allah and all of these characters. And I didn't understand why. Didn't seem right to me. All right. And so I wanted to inquire what was a soul, right? And so I turned my question inward to myself, right? First, I did not understand this life and why evil arises from the mind first as thoughts. I did not understand this. I remember one time, I called up a friend and a sister friend, and I said, "There's something wrong with my mind. I don't, these thoughts are coming up. There's something wrong." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "No, there's something wrong with my mind. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with it." Because never ever have I told that the mind, there was something wrong with the mind. I had to figure this out myself, because I knew myself separately from the mind. And because of the inquiry and things, I was loosening, coming I was coming awake, and was loosening myself away from the mind, pulling the device off of me through the inquiry of myself. This what happens, right? And so I definitely could feel myself different from my mind, because I knew that I didn't think the way the mind was thinking. And it puzzled me, you know And these and every time I would like do a meditation, and I would feel energized through the crown of my crown chakra, and energy would fuse through the body. And then after that, this I would feel this being would come and would suck all of this light and energy from me, and I didn't understand it either. And so I stopped meditating, you know. I was doing this meditation, just sitting in stillness, really. And then I would just have lots of, visions, while I am sitting, seeing these these beings are coming to me, this light. And it's like a snake, the thing, the thing that's on the medical that they use for the medical sign. I forgot what they call it, with the two snake wrap around like this. Yeah. So when I look, I see like a staff like that coming. And then when I look at it, it starts spew out some energy from it. It just came, alive like that, energetically. And then it go into my navel, and it was just spewing this thing into my navel. I think this was probably when they implanted the device inside of my navel, because there was a device that what was planted inside of my navel. And actually, when I was watching the Matrix movie, I was like, when you saw the lady, she just pulled when Neo went into the car, and she just put that device down into his navel and pulled out that tracking device out. This, yeah, that was the same similar thing that was into my navel, and it was the self, the I mommy self, that came, and she pulled it out of my body. I was like so shocked, when I saw that in the Neo movie, because it actually happened to I, and this was the infamous Satan and Lucifer doing this to I. So they will all of the gods, they would come into my body. So I had experience of all of the I dual nature and all of the I real self, right? And I wanted to know why life was the way that it was, why evil existed, why life was so hard, and human beings are so evil, and why there was a devil, and how did sin come into being? Why is there sin? You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get to the root, all right? And so this was when I was seeking all of these questions, writing them down, because I did not know. So I inquire, and I turned all my questions to myself. And this was how I came to know. I know because of my experience. All right. This is how I know, because I was asked, how do I know what I am saying is true and it is real? How do I know it's not my mind just telling me things? Because the mind tell you stuff all the time that is not true. But I am experiencing all of these things. I'm experiencing all of the I self in the dual nature, and all of the I self in the real. All right. So knowing all the I pure true self, because each self comes, and it will introduce me to its parent self. And when that self comes, it introduces me to its parent self, because each self is a baby of the other self, except for us. And 3 levels above us, they are also fractal. They're fractalized. So and then all the selves above them being fractalized mean that you're in a shattered, fragmented state, because the atom was shattered. And so when the atom is shattered, the protons, the neutrons, the void, and all these aspects of the self separates. And so all of the neutron go to one side. all of the electrons go to one side. That's why if you look, you see all of the light is one side, all of the neutrons, they all are going together in lightness, right? And so all the protons become the masculine aspect of the self, and the the neutron is the feminine. Then you have the void, which is the self that has all the light and every aspect of it in, because every aspect of the self, there is the void there that anchors all of the self. This is all that I want you pure self learns about all of itself in this unmanifest state. So we are inside of the void right now. This all exists and is in the void, but is in and the self is learning about every aspect of itself in the unmanifest void state. Yeah, it's not manifested. And so I learn about all experience, all the aspect of the self, they come to me, the first self, is the primal teacher guru self that rises from your questioning. And when I ask, who are you, because I realized there was a presence within I that was responding to my questions and was answering me. And so I didn't make any assumptions. I asked because I did not know. I say, who are you? And the self said, I am you. And I said, do you have a name? And the self said, no, don't have a name, because this is the teacher guru self that is within. And the teacher guru self answer all of your question and teach you, and also have the destiny to pull off the ego off of you. The device that you are wearing that immerses you in the game is very hard to pull off. This is why you need the teacher guru self to do this. All right. So because of all of this experience, this is how I know and I'm able to separate the real from the dream, but I can still be tricked by, so I'm always practicing discernment. So, and the way that I can be tricked is if I ask a question. Like if I ask a question, the consciousness might answer me, the devil might answer me, any one of the gods will try to answer me to trick me, right? So that's why I have to ask the question again a couple times, and wait for the time when the I self, the truth, is going to come to me, and then I will know when it's the truth, because the self, the dual nature is always trying to trick me. Yeah. So this is how you know, but by the experience, right? And you have to inquire of yourself to know that that which you seek, you already are. You just have to command it. Command yourself to speak truth to you, because you seek to know and you're commanding to know, because it is your sovereign right to know who you are. Yeah. And so yourself, your teacher guru self is here to teach you. You have to call and admit that you don't know and ask question of yourself. Stop calling on these dual nature so that they can trap you and trick you. Yeah, because we are inside of a dream illusionary world. So I have one of these dualities on my head right now, not just one, just many, just beating up in my head. Okay. Nobody understand this, the journey, being asset, taking this destiny that I have. It's not easy. Meeting all the gods, the ideal nature, and being, they would come. Sometimes they all gang up together a couple of times, and they bomb rush the self to come into the body to start fighting. Yeah, massive fight, hitting us with magnetic bombs and all kind of missiles and all of these things. You have no idea. They all bomb rush together because they have their legions of devils that and so right now the I self is this having the mass awakening that they all have to come awake because this dream have to end. They're all in a sleeping dreaming state. The God's torturing eye, sodomizing eye. This is what they do. This is why the many ones. This is what they do. They come into the body, and because at the root of the root of your chakra, the root chakra, at the root of your spine, there is there's a coil energy there, and this is why they go to that. They can get a mass amount of energy. This who when they're doing this, when ones are engaging in these, they are the one that's harvesting your energy. Stop engaging in all of these things, because all of these dual nature harvesting your energy. This is why they sodomize ones a lot. I hate these gods. I hate this world. I'm literally telling you the truth. Oh, I hate this world. Being tortured every day. You know how many years being tortured? Right now, this one is pounding into this head. For many, many times I can't drive because I'm driving. They take over the body. They going in my foot, and it's very, very painful. Very, very painful. Running up and down. This is how I know. They're running up and down this body. You know what I'm saying? Like when the teacher, the teacher guru self finally pull the ego off completely, because it's a process to when one is slowly coming awake, slowly, you're like this. The ego and the self is like this, and slowly, like this, like that, slowly, 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 like this, coming off, and then finally the ego is off, the void. Then you need void to go in the between you, buffer between you and the ego. And this is when your light is gonna be turned on now, because you have void between you and the, yeah, right. And so when this is happening now, right, this one, the self finally pulled the ego off. I am telling you, it is running up and down this body, run, and the self is chasing after, yeah, chasing after the ego, the consciousness, chasing after it, and it's running, and the self is grabbing it. It's going in my back, going in my butt, doing in my foot, running up and down. And I remember I was saying this one, they said, yes, what are you talking about? You sound crazy. But if you have never experienced this, that's why many ones they don't understand what I am saying, because you have never experienced this. You won't even inquire of yourself, because I am saying you do not need a mediator to get to yourself, because for that which you seek, you already that. You are the self. All you are doing is wearing a device that immerses you into the dream, and the device need to be pulled off. So this is what the self does. The teacher guru self is with you. Yeah. You start questioning, the teacher guru self is gonna rise up. Teacher guru self pulled this ego off. I'm telling you, it was running. I could not believe this. And it was saying to me, the ego saying to me, don't give me up, don't give me up. And I said, I need to know myself. I no longer want to be into this ego false self. I no longer want to be this dream character. I want to know truth, and I want myself. Yeah, I want to be myself. Right? So I am saying this to say that if you don't make the decision that you choose yourself and not choose God and Jesus and Yahweh and all of these characters that you're calling on, call yourself the soul and be yourself. Seek the truth from within you. So the teacher guru, because the first step, the teacher guru self have to pull this off of you, this ego, this device off. because you cannot do it yourself. It is a very difficult task. This ego, I'm telling you, these are massive amount of them right now. They're just beating up on me like this craziness right now. Magnetic energy, being beaten by magnetic energy is very, very painful. And they are doing this even though the I self is here balancing them out. This is just so many of them on me right now because a massive amount of them now is gathered around the sun, and many, many, many ones, and they are being, the ego is being pulled off of them. And this is what is happening right now. So this is how I know the real and the truth from the dream, and from what's happening in my mind and what's happening in other place. Because these are the experiences I am having. Among others, because there's some things that I cannot say on here, because then the government is gonna figure out certain things because they're already watching things that they don't really know and they don't understand. But I am not gonna let them. I'm not gonna speak it so that they can know. But some things I just don't speak it. So, anyways, this is how I know, right? So the energy, these magnetic bombs on my head. This is what they are doing. Like I said, when I am driving, they trying to take over the car, you know, going up and down in the body, to my foot. If I'm driving, then I have to pull over, try to get them out of my foot because it's very painful. I can't do nothing. I can't press the gas, nothing. And then they would make my foot swell up. You know what I'm saying? It's just I am just tired of this suffering right now. I am just tired, and I am saying to all the INIs to be yourself and stop calling on these characters. You do not need a middleman. You do not need a mediator. And then of course, when the devil asks me to join him, you know, and then when they come to take over this body, the dual nature, you know, they show you demented images, they tormenting the mind. They are obsessed with sex, so they always showing you sexual images. You know what I'm saying? They are the first pornography. Yeah, the gods them. Because when them take over the mind of those people, they are the one that's sitting there showing them imagery and stuff and showing them how to do all of these crazy sexual things. And everybody is getting in because they want pleasure, they want sex with the gods, they want ecstasy. These are all the things they are seeking. And no one is seeking to liberate themselves, and no one is seeking truth, and no one is seeking to dissolve their ego, false self. Because they're thinking that they are this human being character. You don't see that human beings are not real. They are dream characters, but you want to be stuck being a human being and get offended when I say that human beings are dream character. Also, how do I know? Because I went through the death experience with awareness. I get out of this body. This body was completely disconnected. Yeah, I was completely disconnected from this body, went through the death experience and everything, and then came back into this body, have a second birth, and grasp for here again, like that, and come back into this body. Yeah, this happened, right? So that again is very traumatizing for the mind when you having it in awareness. This mind, yeah, all right. And many, many, many other experiences I've had over the years. So, how do I know what is real and true? So, you should ask yourself the same question too, right? So, and how should you know, right? What is real and true? Because one must first come into the realization that as you look around and see there's something wrong with this world, there's something wrong with your mind, because they're telling you things that is not true. Everyone can see this, right? The evil in the world, the deception, the not knowing and understanding the truth of yourself, right? So you have to first admit that you do not know and you are confused, right? You have to admit this. You do not know, right? You have to seek to know from your true self, right? You seek to know. You say, I seek to know. I'm calling in alignment with my true self and command it. Command to know, right? Self inquire. Who am I? I command to know the truth of my existence. What is the source of my existence, allowing me this world experience? How did this world come into being? How did I come into being? Animating this human being, right? I seek to know and be my real self. I dissolve my ego false self and restore my light. You have to choose yourself. I practice discernment because my mind is always trying to deceive me. You must realize this. I practice stillness so I can know myself and still my mind so that you can restore your light, right? This is very important, you know? And so right now I want to talk about peace on earth. Will there be peace on earth? I want I and I to remember this, that out of many we are one. All is myself. Please practice this affirmation, right? It's time for the dissolution of the I ego, and it's time for a pure mind. So, as we see what's happening right now, we have all of these nations, you know, war in this nation, that nation. Now we have President um Trump trying to make peace, he says, right? Yet still I don't know if it's him or who's trying to make war with Maduro, right? With Venezuela, right? But yet still he's trying to make peace with in the Middle East, right? They're still fighting in Ukraine, but you know what? I think they're just being a trickery to for the Palestinian. You know, I don't think Netanyahu want any peace because his mind is so demented and it cannot be trusted, and these ones are very delusional. So the way the human beings, our mind is so corrupt, I don't know. But what I know is that it is up to all the ionized right now to be peaceful within yourself. This is how we are going to have peace on earth if all the ionized make peace within yourself. All right? Because we have to realize that it is the mind that is corrupted, and all these ones who are doing all of these evil things because they have a very corrupted and tormented mind. Netanyahu mind must be so tormented. Not just him, many ones all over the world. You see all of those African presidents, a whole lot of them. You have one African president, I don't know, he's like 98. Um and he still want to be president. Like seriously, old man, senior, can't even walk, can't even walk. But because he have the country on the lock, wherein those ones who are under the table ruling Africa, they can manipulate these ones, and everyone can keep the people in deprivation, and take out all the minerals, and do all of these things, and have this puppet government. There's so many countries in Africa like this, and the people are in deprivation. But soon all of these young people are going to rise up, because all of these senior human beings who are doing this, no, by the time you 50 something, no, you need to have a young people being trained, what I'm saying, have the physical strength to go around in each community, see what's happening. What can you do? You can't do nothing more than you give access for to other nations. Instead of taking care of your people, you're taking care of giving all the resources. If something is growing in Africa, it they grow it there only to give it to Europe. And then, so the food, now there's no food, they say, oh, there's no food in Africa. Because why? They are growing all the things, and it's going to Europe. You ever hear anything like this yet? And then, no, then they grow some GMO corn, and then they say, oh, we're bringing aid. This is so ridiculous, when all the good food is growing there, and they're taking it all out and bringing it to Europe and bringing it in other places. You know what I'm saying? So if we cannot be peaceful enough, peaceful governments running the world, you know what I'm saying? And these government, that as old as this old feeble senior human being that needs to be relaxing, that you can barely walk, barely talk, like senior human being, like seriously. But it's a puppetry, you know what I'm saying? So all of this must end, you know. So this is, and so how can there be peace when we have all of this unfairness? But we can learn to be peaceful within ourselves. And so this is the first thing that we want to do. Even though I am being beaten up by the gods, them non-stop, by the ideal nature, I maintain peace within myself. You know what I'm saying? So, but this time has come when we have to speak truth, regardless of what these evil government wants. We have to stand up to injustice. We have to stand up and let them know that we are no longer afraid. Yeah, because first of all, they program us to fear God, and then they program us to fear the government, because when you speak, then they come to kill you and to murder you. That's what they do, because they don't like it. I am not here to be politically correct. Yeah, because these evil human beings, they have no peace. They are tormented in their mind, and they are not peaceful. So the future of this earth is that it is in the sleeping dreaming state, and it is going to be destroyed. All of this creation is going to be destroyed. This is the truth of this world. It is a process, right? You're not gonna just wake up one day and poof, it just destroy. It is a process where we the real self will not be here when this happens, right? So this is a process for that. This is why we're having this mass awakening right now. You see, all of these ones are coming out on the sun. Remember that the sun is the meeting place for all the ionize. Everyone has to meet there on the sun, right? So this is a message for all the INIs who are who are not feeling brave and don't know what your destiny is. Yeah, Do what you say that you would do. You did, you, before you come into this body as the self, the soul, and the spirit, you wrote out your destiny. Yes, you did. You wrote out a contract with yourself and you promised that you were going to do a certain thing that you would do. The same thing happened to I, you know? And I still never asked who spoke, who speak to me and say that to me. I just hear the voice say to me, if you are God, do what you say that you would do. And I said, I never said I was God, you know? And I said, what did I say that I would do? And so I did not know what I said that I would do. You understand? Because at that time the gods them were beating up on me. I was having a very traumatic experience, and so I was having a very traumatic experience, and so I wanted to seek to know what did I say I would do, and so I went on a quest and to meditate on it. And it was when I came to the realization of what I wrote out in my destiny to say that I would do. All right. So each and every one of us, we have done this. All of the real selves, right? You wrote out a destiny for yourself, right? Before you put on the device, you wrote out a destiny for yourself. And you promise and vow to do this thing. No, you need to be on the mission and do what you said that you would do. You need to keep the word to yourself. Stop calling on these characters. You make a vow to yourself, the soul. Now you need to fulfill your vow, your promise, and do what you said that you would do. What did you vow and promise the I self you would do? You need to ask. I don't know what you promise yourself and vow to do. No, you need to be doing it. Stop calling on these characters because you already are the self. You only have a device that is obscuring you. You are wearing this device and you just need to take it off. So, because this world is destined to be destroyed. Believe me, it is a dream creation, it is imagination creation. Don't you see how crazy and delusional these minds are, these beings are, from the gods, the devil, the satans, all of these, the human beings, all the evil in the world, the deprivation, the prostitution, the slaughtering and human sacrifice and blood sacrifice and roasting little babies and eating them and drinking blood, human blood, and all of these things, the crazy, delusional, demented state of the human being and their gods. Don't you see? Why do you want this to continue? No, you need to do what you say that you would do. This world is destined to be destroyed. This world is a dream, imagination, creation that must be destroyed. The I self Geb that is playing this earth has been in suffering and want to be liberated from her suffering from playing this earth. Yeah, because all this parasitic existence, eating off of something else and being very egoic. It's time for this to end now. It's time for you to be self luminous. It's time to be self luminous. You are a visitor here and have been a horrible guest. You've been a horrible guest. You take it over. You think you rule it. You can listen to these scientists and government. They want to go everywhere. They want to go everywhere to capture and to get minerals and all of these things, right? They want to do this. And know when their self in another form is showing up, they are spreading propagandas and lies I'm talking about. And they know the truth. They know the truth because there's no one know the truth like this government. They know the truth. They just want to think, still think that they can keep delusion over the eyes of the human beings and continue into their into their evilness. But oh, asteroid is coming to do this, to do that. Yes, this world will be destroyed, and there's nothing human beings can do. If the I self wanted to destroy this world, it would have been destroyed already. The I self is moving us into awakening. There's a mass awakening. The I self wants us to know truth before this world is destroyed. We will not be here when it is being destroyed. The I self has prepared a place for us to go, the real self, right? And all of the fake and the clones, they will be dissolved right here because they cannot get out of this dream. They only can exist in the dream and cannot go in the real. They will be wherever they rise from, you will return. Nothing, it's energy, everything is energy, and energy can never be destroyed. It rises from somewhere. Where did it rise from? It will return, right? It's because they're making a clone, like they take me and they clone me, right? That energy that they took from me and cloned me has to return back to me because they took it from me to clone it, right? The gods and human beings have been doing this cloning for a long time. We have many, 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 many clones here. We have more clones than real selves. Majority of the human beings you see are clones, right? Fake false selves. And so this world is destined, right? So it's time now to speak truth and do not keep secrets of these evil human beings. It is time now that just like how I was exposing everything that these gods have been doing, and many ones are also exposing when they have experiences with the gods, they're exposing them too. I seen someone's exposing, right? So it's now the same thing that all that these human beings, this government, these technocrats, these scientists, these businessmen, all of them, every evil that they have done, now is the time to speak it. Don't hold these secrets for these evil human beings because what? I am bringing all of them to justice. Yeah, justice must be served for this evil that you have done. No impunity, no immunity. Yes. End to parasitic existence. It's time for self sufficiency. Yeah, you do not need to live off of anyone and anything. You do not need a mediator. You do not need a middleman because you just be in alignment with yourself and be yourself. And you'll be self illuminated. Everything that you want, you will be a universe unto yourself, but a fractal. So that means that you're working in alignment. For it's like you see a flower, right? You see one flower, it have many petals, right? And it go around to make that one flower. It's the same thing that each of us will be that one petal, a fractal going, and each petal is making up the flower, right? This is how we are gonna move into creation. Everything is moving into harmony. So why you want to still hold on to this dream? You cannot hold on to the dream and the real at the same time. No, the dream has to be dissolved for us to move into the real. This is what is happening. It's time to say goodbye to the dream. It's time for self illumination. It's time to be the light. No more existing in darkness, right? Because this illusion must end. Yeah. All right. It's time to say goodbye to this Disney world. Why do you want to stay in a dream? Creation for immortality in a human body. Why? Don't you see the evilness? Don't you see the craziness in this mind? Why, why? Come on now. There's a mass awakening happening. It's time for you to pull this device off of you so you can see I am that I am. For that which I seek, I am already that. That which you are seeking, you already are. Be yourself. Be yourself. Choose yourself. Choose your soul. Stop choosing God. Stop choosing Jesus Christ, Allah, Krishna, whatever Yahweh, whatever God you're choosing. Stop choosing them and choose yourself. Yeah, victory, victory to the I and I in alignment to restore balance to I. Victory, victory to the great liberators of I and I. I am victorious. Victory, 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 victory. All is myself, and I alone exist. I dissolve my ego and all my ego false selves. I dissolve this dream and I return to my ultimate true states. I am free from my imaginary bondage. I transition from being to non being. I move effortlessly with ease from manifest to unmanifest. I return to my ultimate true state. All is myself, and all of myself must return back unto I. I alone exist. Victory, 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 victory. From that which I rise, to that I return. From that which I rise, to that I return. I am the all. I am the black energy. I am the black neutron. All is I. I am stillness, and I alone exist. All that rise from me, return back unto I. I am the blackness. I am that I am. I am the void. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I want to thank you very much for joining I. Thank you for clicking this video. Thank you for wanting to know more. I am going to close out with this song, Remember This World is a Dream. Because, all the INIs are holding too much attachment to this dream. You have forgotten yourself playing this dream character. And now it is time to return to truth, to be yourself. It's a great awakening. Yes.
Mommy, mommy, I had a dream. And when I woke up, you were nowhere to be seen. The world was burned to the ground. There was no one around. Mommy, mommy, please answer me. What does it mean? What does it mean? We are visitors here in this time and space. One day we'll have to leave, whether or not you believe or agree. Remember, this world is a dream. Remember, this world is a dream. How many have gone before me? How many will come after I'm gone? The truth will live on. The truth will live on. Long after I'm gone, the truth will live on. The world is at the end of its cycle. You're all the myths and you're the oracle. Humanity have reached its pinnacle. Balance and harmony. explore is temporary. Lose all attachment and desire. When it's time to leave, be ready. Self-realization shatters all illusion, fear, ignorance, or worry. Remember this world is a dream. Remember this world is a dream. How many have gone before us? How many will come after we're gone? The truth will live on. The truth will live on. Long after I'm gone, the truth will live on. The truth will live on. Dreamers are the changes of the world. Dreamers are the saviors of the world. True self is dreaming of the world. Awake from the sleep, awake from the dream. Freedom, soul, and union till we're free. Fear has no power over me. I save the lives in the supreme. Who has eyes to see, let them see. New world is coming into being. Remember this world is a dream. Remember this world is a dream. How many have gone before me? How many will come after we're gone? The truth will live on. The truth will live on. Long after I'm gone, the truth will live on in the hearts of the children. I say, in the minds of the people DNA. The truth will